CBS Sports Radio.
Ike Feldman and Pete Hoffman are here from the great show, as I said earlier, Outside the Cage.
Still much less Holloway. Come see me, Blast Arrow, baby, let's go. The Blast Express is going home. UFC Hawaii, choo-choo. Let's go.
WF fans outside the cage.
Outside the cage.
Outside the Cage, which is growing like crazy.
This is Outside the Cage with Ike Feldman and Pete Hoffman on CBS Sports Radio.
What's up, everyone? Outside the Cage with your host Ike Feldman, Pete Hoffman. Check us out at _ Out the Cage, at Ike _ CBS.
At the Hoff WFAN. It's fight week.
What up? Don't forget the radio.coms of the world for our articles. Mike's on app for our bi-weekly videos. Not bi-weekly, it's 2 times a week. So what would you call that? It's
I
not
did
bi-weekly.
hear this, though. I think it was from a smarter guy than us. Bi-weekly means 2 things. Every other week and twice a week. Pretty stupid.
So it's bi-weekly. Okay, then I'm right. Okay. I knew it was by something. So bi-weekly for the Mike's on app. Also, we have WFAN.com, CBSSportsRadio.com as well. Welcome, Fight Week, UFC 236, Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier, unbelievable, super excited. Also, Kelvin Gastelum, Israel Adesanya.
Doesn't mean shit, though.
No?
No. There's bigger news. It's bullshit. Rogan's talking about your phone's ringing.
Oh, I don't even know.
Is that one of those blank numbers?
Dude, that's all I get are blank numbers on a regular.
So, I might be tanner than last episode. I went away for my brother's 40th. Strippers, cocaine that I didn't participate in, but there are other stuff. It's bankers, there's money, there's a lot of stuff going around. But, dude, I was talking with my brother, the most important thing, these random freaking calls. Your car insurance is overdue. He's like, I don't even have a car. The solar panels on your house.
The solar panels. All of the solar panels. Get the solar panels on the house. I get the get gas, electric, and it's like, dude, I'm in a co-op. I don't pay for that. It's all in there. Like, please get all.
Have you ever answered?
I do once in a while because, like, sometimes you think it's an emergency. Again, they find a way to make it local to you. So, like, I have, like, my area code is a 914.
That means it's News 12, make local.
Well, whatever it is, but it's a 914 number, so that pops up. I'm like, oh, shoot, it's a local number that pops up, so maybe it's something about the kids or whatever it is.
Yeah.
To another telemarketer. I'm like, get the F out of here, dude. I'm over this nonsense.
Dirty move.
So, the bachelor party was good?
Not a bachelor party. My brother's 40th.
Oh, sorry, 40th. Yes, that's what I meant to say.
More action at my brother's 40th than my bachelor party. But, dude, it's golf. I'm not the best. I ended up just taking a lot of pictures. The golf courses were beautiful because there was 5 people playing in a team. And if I hit it, I would have to wait 5 minutes because my ball's in the woods. So I would just take photos of the whole thing.
Nice.
It's fun. The best part was the conversations with the strippers, man. I'm not even joking. Just sitting there casually. They're like, oh, you have to drive from Nashville or Atlanta. Oh, okay, that's good. What are you doing? Have you thought about your future? And she's, oh, man, I'm working on my stuff. I'm trying to figure it out. I was like, listen, Cinnamon, you're going to figure it out. It's all going to work out. The best part was each stripper brought a bucket on the stage. We ended up just crumpling dollars and trying to hit the shot. Dude, I've never been to a strip club where the DJ did play-by-play commentary. Y'all motherfuckers is J.R. Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. He was commentating on our hit.
Unfortunately, I have not been to a strip club in a long time, so I don't know what they act like these days. But back in the day, it used to be whatever.
They still smell. They all smell.
Dude, it is what it is.
It's a grimy scene.
It's an interesting... It's an interesting lifestyle to live, let's put it that way.
We would do a live podcast if they paid us, though. That's the thing.
Oh, my God, of course. I'd do it right now. It'd be entertaining. Listen, when I was 18 years old and going to, oh, shoot, what the hell was the place called? It was somewhere up in
Mine
Nyack.
was Forbidden Fruit, the 18 and older club, like in a factory business.
Oh, I can't believe I forget this name. Because we used to go up to this place, and we used to have a couple drinks in the car because it was non-alcoholic.
Oh, this was bring your own beer.
No, it was non-alcoholic because you could be 18 to go in. So that's the thing. It's like, so 18 to go in, they couldn't serve alcohol. So like
the 18-year-olds here, they gave them highlighter tank tops. Oh. So they're all wearing fluorescent yellow tank tops, and the strippers know who doesn't have the money.
Yeah, like that don't even waste your time. They're just there for the show.
Cinnamon ain't giving you time, Tyler.
No, they're the ones that are throwing them dollars. That's what they do. They sit there and throw the dollars. Anyway, UFC 236 is here. Again, we talked about not Dillashaw. Jesus, what's on my mind?
He's on our mind, man.
It's very frustrating. Dude, the biggest thing about TJ Dillashaw, again, we'll get to UFC 236 in a second, but the biggest thing about TJ Dillashaw being suspended is the route this whole process went. because this guy has been going on, we went on Joe Rogan, leading up to his fight with Cejudo. He said that the Sam Calvita way was so impressive and, the system was unbelievable and all this stuff. And yet the whole time you were on this EPO nonsense, whether it was the whole time or just one shot, like, Sam Calvita and Dwayne Ludwig even said that they're not condoning steroids. They didn't take any part with it. This is his choice to take steroids, to take this EPO, and no one else knew about this but TJ Dillashaw. He did it on the side against Dwayne and against Sam. So they're again, and they're supportive, and hopefully he gets better. That's what they say. But they did not help him take EPO. This is a third party outside of these two places. But he went on the record and said how important Sam Calvita and Dwayne Ludwig were to his, building up for his fight, specifically this one versus Henry Cejudo. You taking steroids?
Dude, it got Joe Rogan going. Like, if you did a drinking game every time you heard Sam Calvita on the Joe Rogan podcast with TJ Dillashaw, you'd be drunk in the first 20 minutes.
Yes.
Honestly. He pumped this guy up, wanted to reach out to this guy. This guy was a former bodybuilder. They said he teaches calculus at a local college. Like, this guy is the mastermind. They said he treats everything scientific. They train out of his garage with Aaron Pico. It's a nice team, and they thought they figured it out. They got caught. The worst part is that this drug that he tested for is from UFC 227 when he fought Cody Garbrandt. They retested a sample, you were telling me. And a lot of the stuff that we're reiterating right now is on the Mike's app, so we're refining our takes here. But it sucks, man. For his legacy, for him as a person, for his family, he's not going to earn money over the next 2 years. I think he should do some grappling thing he's always going to have sponsors. Who knows if they're supplement sponsors anymore. It's a bad look, man. He was top 5 pound for pound in the UFC, looking to be a double champ. Take out Henry Cejudo. Now he has no belt. He's not a double champ. He got knocked out. He's suspended for 2 years, not going to make money from the income. And you know what the worst part is? The UFC freaking catered to John Jones just a couple of months ago.
That's annoying. That's definitely annoying, the John Jones nonsense. Again, the picograms, how things work out. Oh, don't worry, he's fine. He keeps on pissing hot or getting tested positive for this picogram nonsense. So it's like, well, so what if TJ, when he comes back in 2 years, it's still in his system? Do we just say, oh, TJ, you're good now? It's in your system still from the last time you got tested. Who knows when it'll go away? Like, there's got to be a better process. And it just really sucks because, TJ, you're right. Whether, he's going to be off for 2 years. What about the sponsors? What about this? What about that?
He's older.
He's older. The sport's growing. There's going to be a lot more money in it. He wanted to get it. Understandably, because you want to get as much money as possible. It's like, hey, tell A-Rod not to use some performance-enhancing drug which can get you $250 million for a contract.
Already made the money.
Yeah, it is what it is. We just need to find a way to end this because, especially going on record, how hard he went on this whole weight cut. Everyone questioned his mind frame, cutting the 10 pounds. Could it be done? He lost the fight in 32 seconds regardless of weight cut issue, regardless of a steroid, regardless of whatever. He lost the fight in 32 seconds.
Kind of looks better that he lost, right? Imagine a steroid loser. That would probably be a bigger story. Or is it?
If he won, it would have been like, oh, it's predictable. You won on steroids, duh. The fact that he lost is like, maybe it helps people like retain the fact that, hey, you don't need steroids to win.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good thing.
Good lesson.
Because you definitely don't need steroids to lose. You can lose without steroids, people. Trust me. Just watch.
Dude, it's disgusting. It's never going to end. It's going to be for the rest of the time the cheaters versus the anti-doping companies. They spend a lot of money on these anti-dope. Basketball, nobody ever gets caught in basketball.
No,
but baseball and football, boxing, same thing. No testing. The UFC brought in this USADA company to track down these people. TJ Dillashaw was a pre-USADA guy that I think he might have been champion pre-USADA, and then he lost it to Dominick Cruz. It sucks. He got caught in a different era. I mean, I'm amazed that Chris Weidman or Jose Aldo haven't been caught. You can't blame them because it was legal a couple of years ago.
Well, and the thing is, Cody's been talking about it for a while. Cody Garbrandt, that is, has been talking about it for a long time. He went on a big Twitter warpath about TJ. Where's TJ? I want to hear what TJ's got to say. We've heard from Dwayne, we've heard from other people, but not from TJ. And it's funny because I love. Listen, I'm about to say I love TJ, I love Cody. I'm entertained by all these fighters. I love good fights. So to me,
we're losing good fights.
These are good fighters, and they're entertaining. And for whatever reason, whether it was steroids or not, I don't know. But TJ was a great fighter to me. TJ brought on that Dominick Cruz element of the weaving and dodging and still putting out a good product, and then having that knockout power. Was that knockout power from the steroids? I don't know. But Cody Garbrandt has gone on record stating that TJ has been involved in the steroids for quite a while, and he mentioned the EPO thing on Twitter a long time ago. Crazy. So it is crazy that that's what he gets tested positive for. It's crazy that USADA doesn't consistently test for this EPO.
That's a big issue.
That to me is stupid. I'm pretty sure it was either Ariel or Brett on Twitter, Okamoto, whatever you want to say. I say tomato, you say tomato. They were on Twitter that's saying that this is not a mandatory test with the EPO. It doesn't come up on everything because they don't test it every single time.
I don't know how much the UFC's paying USADA, but you got to test for the freaking 50, 100,000 supplements. That blood
for everything,
because it costs money to test certain things. It's
then why have a system?
Yes, exactly. Why have a system? It's bullcrap.
Doesn't make any sense, dude. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You either test for everything, you test for nothing. It's as simple as that. Because you have guys that beat the system consistently. Okay, and I don't want to just talk about Alex Rodriguez, but he's the biggest person out there who openly admitted to using steroids and yet has never tested positive for one steroid test that was taken 2003, I think it was, or 2004, that was waived. It was a unanimous test. The names were never supposed to leak, but yet someone leaked his name. But that was the only test he's ever tested positive.
Has Barry Bonds ever been? Roger Clemens have
Roger Clemens is, I think he openly.
That was word of mouth, I heard, though. But there was
because he
still
had the stuff that there was
no
house
trust.
and his wife was on the FedEx or whatever it was. But the point is that, A-Rod openly admitted it whenever he finally got caught red-handed. He finally admitted to it, but never in all his years was tested positive. So how is that possible? Where are we failing at that these high-level athletes can use this product and not get tested positive? What's the point of doing it?
You just hope that there's some karmic forces that can get them back for this. I mean, like you said, Henry Cejudo won. He's an Olympian. He didn't need steroids as an Olympian or as a UFC fighter. Hopefully the good guy can always win. I'm not saying TJ's a bad guy, but in this situation, he's a cheater.
Yeah, this situation is bad.
So what am I saying? This is an infinite situation. The cheaters are always going to cheat, and you just hope that the UFC or the NFL or MLB are not cheap on their test. This is a championship fight, the first fight to kick off an era, and now you want to test them? How about Cody Garbrandt? He got knocked out. You don't think he wished that TJ tested positive? Because then wouldn't TJ be suspended back then? Cody would fight for an interim title. Careers matter off this, man.
And he's also saying that Pedro Munoz got tested positive for a fight back in the day, too. I forgot what year.
Cody Garbrandt has lost to 100% of steroid users.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And I listen, I love Cody. But I love Cody's follow-up, too. He goes, not saying that I also was a dumbass in those fights, too, and I went in with a bad approach. I like that he can admit to that, too. Hey, listen, these people were tested positive for steroids, and I also was an idiot with my approach.
But to go on that first half with the steroids, it gives them a confidence. You're not telling me that Vitor Belfort, when he knows he's on the good sauce or he has a doctor's note because he's getting older and he's losing testosterone, that he's allowed to go in there with steroids. He's feeling like a giant. John Jones looked kind of small in the Alexander Gustafsson fight. There's a lot of speculation around him. You don't think that he's I got to wrestle now. I got to actually use some skill. I can't go in there with superior confidence. Steroids matter when you're stepping up to the plate, you're sacking a quarterback, or you're punching somebody in the face.
Can I tell you the craziest things that
please.
you follow the Twitter accounts from all these fighters, etc. The two that stuck out.
You just got to get hydrated first with core water.
Whoa, core hydration. Very nice. Perfectly balanced water.
There's only 4 grams of protein. No, there's no grams of protein.
Grams of protein is water, dude. But that costs a lot of money, probably, right?
Yeah, it was $250, and I think I'm getting more. I think there's salt in here.
Oh, good. You're drinking salt water.
But core
Cool.
dehydrates you.
Let's go. But the two craziest tweets I saw that were just like, dude, it's outrageous.
Tomato.
No. Freaking Conor McGregor supporting Cody Garbrandt, being like, dude, I always said you had his, when you got, you always had your eyes back during this whole TJ thing. You're a good dude. What was something weird about Conor, like supporting Cody in one of his tweets.
This is recent?
Just today.
Okay.
Today or yesterday, whenever it came out and Cody won his tirade, Conor followed up and retweeted saying like, hey, by the way, you always had your eyes back during this whole situation. When TJ was a snake, you always had his back. I always looked at you and highly looked at you, and because remember they squashed it.
Yeah.
Cody was on with us, said
On the podcast.
I squashed the thing with Conor a long time ago. We were really cool. We met up one time and we were really cool about stuff. So Conor was in support of what Cody was going off on, saying that this steroid bullshit. And then Artem Lobov, think about this. How he explained it. He goes, think about a NASCAR race driver, right? You give everyone 100% limited, 100% of fuel, but with limited amount of fuel. So you have to refuel at some point in time. And then you give one guy with 120% of fuel.
Yeah, he's not going to stop off the gas pedal.
Yeah.
And that guy going into that race is going to know he's got the extra fuel.
Yeah.
It's just like steroids with the body, man.
Lobov and McGregor coming through with the like, oh, wow, wait, not groundbreaking moment, but like, now I understand where you're coming from. Listen, and Lobov, whatever he did in the bare knuckle fighting was ridiculous. I don't understand how they could.
Did he win or lose? I saw a highlight.
He won, barely. He lost the last 2 rounds, but he probably won the first 3. Again,
Did you watch the whole?
I did. It was
2 minute, 3 minute round?
2-minute rounds for 5 rounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fast.
Yeah, it's very fast. But it's needed because, dude, you can't go further than that. They were at the end. They were so bloodied, so scarred up. So a bunch of people talking like, oh, this is barbaric. I can only imagine the concussions that these people are, like, just generic people, like random people throwing out there. Be like, these people, these fighters, like, concussion. You talk about concussions. These guys are all probably banged up worse than anybody else. And Jason Knight went in and not attacked, but said, dude, it's all scrapes and cuts, stuff like that. Like, I'm 100% fine. Like, that's all just like bruising on my face. Like, I got no. I walked away clean. Like, there's no broken bones or nothing.
Shout outs to David Feldman, not my brother, who does the bare knuckle boxing stuff. Somebody actually attacked him. I think it was Ariel Helwani. But a couple things.
Yeah, for stealing away money from that dude. Yeah. That was crazy.
Come on, Mr. Feldman, figure it out, man. But a couple things. I don't know how tight the raps are. Maybe if we get like Paulie on or Artem or somebody, maybe Jason Knight, and we asked them like about the raps. How does it feel compared? Oh yeah, I saw that with Chase Sherman, man, stepping up from Island Fights.
He's all over the place these days, dude. He's not giving it up. But I don't know where he's gonna go.
I appreciate it. Maybe he's tweeting his own tweets by now. But dude, I don't know. Jason Knight saying it's just cuts and scrapes and bruises. I mean, yeah, you say that, but I want to know the science behind it. Like, Rogan is so adamant about this. If you have no gloves, a.k.a. casts, where they wrap it at 10,000 times and put a pad over it, and you don't swing it like Chuck Liddell, if you know you have to be a little more precise, are you not going to wing it as much because you might break your wrist? I saw some of the highlights. They didn't give a shit about wrist breaking or fingers
they were
breaking.
going all at it, dude.
So we got to figure that out. And the last thing, dude, Kimbo Slice is like, where the fuck was this 10 years ago? He would be a fucking champion.
I know. Kimbo is, unfortunately, the late Kimbo Slice. That was his era, dude. That's what he did.
Exactly what he needed.
Exactly what he did. It was
snatch.
It was entertaining, but it was also like, it's something that I can't really watch on the regular. I'll be honest. Bare knuckle fighting. I haven't
seen a knockout yet.
Bare knuckle fighting, I did. I mean, Chris Lieben knocked the guy out.
Was it more vicious than an MMA type of knockout?
No, just they curl up more. What like when you see a fighter like just curl up after they get like hit really hard and they've been taking a lot of damage, and then at one point I was like, dude, like I just like when Conor gives up his back, it's like I'm about to be choked out. I'm sick and tired of getting punched in the face. I'm over this. Yeah. But this happens sometimes. Sometimes it happens sooner because with one good punch, direct hit or whatever it is, like the scraping, the cut. It's in a place where it's a bad area. You might get cut over the eye, and there's just a lot more blood, and it's a different type of thing where you don't want it to. It hurt. Maybe might hurt more. I don't know, but like whoever the girl was, I'm forgetting her name. Sorry for that, but she's got the opportunity to fight Beck Rollins. She won the belt or whatever they give out. She hit her opponent, and she with one punch cut her open. It was a bad spot. They called the fight pretty much immediately. She was cut open real good. It was one punch. It wasn't really that bad. Like, she wasn't like teeing up on her and like pounding for a while. It was really one good punch, and she ducked, and then there was a lot of blood. They called it. They wasn't able. I mean, because that's what happens, dude. Your finger, your knuckles are more wide open. Yeah, the sharp. It's like getting hit with an elbow.
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly.
With an elbow, there's two ways to hit people with elbows. You can go a strike where it's with more of like the meatier part of your bone, or you can go on the edge,
Kenny Florian style,
and just
John
slice
Jones,
them open,
the
dude.
Blades.
Yeah,
I mean, one punch that opened it up. She probably wasn't concussed. She could probably fight next week, but the scar tissue, like that thing is fucked. That cut is fucked.
Oh yeah.
But dude, anyway, we'll try to get Paulie on to talk about this. I'm sure he would love to talk to us again.
Yes.
I mean,
Artem Lobov, it's happening.
Is that a couple weeks that I see like a late April
6th, I guess, whatever the number is. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait for that. It's gonna be fun promotion.
I'm going
Paulie
to write an article
him.
about it so you can find that on Radio.com. What promotion?
Oh, what else? I mean, with TJ, the beer knuckle.
UFC 236, dude. We can't forget about that. Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier.
I can't wait.
It's one of, again, we talk about Cody Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw. I'm fans of both of the fighters. Most of these guys are just good dudes that I'm excited to watch. I like good fights, so it doesn't make a difference to me if you're.
I like good fights.
But in reality, I just want to see a good fight. Like, people go, oh, who are you going for with Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier? Doesn't make a difference to me. I like both guys.
Same.
I mean, I have an idea who I think may take the fight, in my opinion, just my expertise opinion. You can find it on Twitter or maybe somewhere else we'll plug it, but I'm not going to give my go-to right now. But both fighters, like, there's nothing bad about either one of these fighters. Both of them, like, they come from different areas, different paths to get to where they are. Holloway might have the belt right now, but Poirier's worked his ass off in a fucking rough lightweight division to get this interim title. And if Tony said yes, he wouldn't have had that opportunity. So it's like both guys are sitting there. One wants to be a champ. One wants his hand on a belt for the first time. It's a perfect match in heaven.
Can't wait for it. It sucks for Tony and everything that he's going through, but I did see that he is cleared to fight. I did retweet that. I'm excited to see what happens with him next. But the fight that we have in front of us is Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier, the rematch. I didn't see the footage until I saw it on the UFC Countdown show. Man, Max was skinny and frail. It was 145. Dustin took him down, got mount, triangle choked him into armbar, totally dominated him. And the fighters will never admit that previous matches hold anything. Like, you got to throw it away. They're different fighters, but Dustin has the edge, man. And if I'm Dustin, work heavily on wrestling. We haven't seen him wrestle at all in his previous fights. It's slugfest with Gaethje, with Eddie Alvarez, with Eddie Alvarez again, with Jim Miller. Like, he's done nothing that makes a boring fight. Dustin Poirier is an amazing fighter. Max Holloway, amazing fighter, dude. He's the champion you want. The combination of Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor, who has the cardio, has the trash talk, throws down in the ring. He's a good guy outside, not going to get in trouble. It's an amazing matchup. Oh, did Max have enough time to get ready for this weight class? I'm not sure. We always know, though, he's a bigger boy. Like, he had trouble cutting down to 55 against Khabib. He looked like he was probably in the 180s. He probably has his diet together now. Obviously, there's money on the line, title fight. A lot of pressure, man. I have no idea who's going to win. I'm with you. Maybe I'll give the pick at the end of this podcast. I'm just excited, man. It better not be a boring-ass grappling match. It's going to be a slugfest, in my prediction.
I don't think so. I think Dustin Poirier brings the fight. And that's where I worry about Poirier at times, too, because
this is the biggest fight of his career, title fight, big chip on his shoulder. Max has been to those mountains.
Yeah.
Dustin, bring it, man. This is your time.
And Max is coming on top. Poirier has a big chip on his shoulder, like you said. And I just think that he's sometimes a little reckless, which he's not as reckless as like a Justin Gaethje. He's not as reckless as that. But sometimes he puts himself in situations where we go, oh, dude, like, how did you get there? Like, not for nothing, but the Eddie Alvarez fight, the second, both fights he was losing. And then they got the DQ in the first one. And the second one was the near DQ with the 12-6 elbow that they stood him up.
Right.
And then
Alvarez was on top at that point.
And then Poirier took advantage. You know, you can't always find something like that to save the day. if you're in a bad position, what is he going to do to get out of
Max
that?
isn't going to make a game day mistake.
No.
I think Max is motivated. I mean, he lost to this guy. It's the same guy. It's another title. It's a shot. Dude, if Max Holloway beats Dustin Poirier, Dustin Poirier, if he gets the win, yes, it's the biggest fight of his career. But if Max Holloway has 2 belts, dude, the world is unlocked. He can call Conor. He could call Nate, Tony, Khabib, anything he wants. GSP if he wants. Dude, the world, the oyster,
Nate
whatever the saying is. Yeah.
The world's your oyster, dude. I would love to see a Max Holloway Nate Diaz fight. That would be stupid. But that being said, though, that's the one thing that not Nate Diaz, Max Holloway, like, we talk about Dustin Poirier. He's not as reckless as a Justin Gaethje, but he will go engage and he'll stand. He'll definitely stand with anybody. He definitely wants to. That hurt him with the Michael Johnson fight. That definitely hurt him. He got knocked out with that Michael Johnson fight. Now, Holloway, I don't know how often we see him knock out his opponents. He usually just tags them enough where they find either some sort of submission or doctor stoppage. With Max and Dustin, there's gonna be openings for Max to land plenty of shots. So
the thing is, if he gets too comfortable landing plenty, it only takes one from Dustin. Dustin's the bigger boy. Max, it's a long night, man. Don't get comfortable because Dustin's bringing him, man. This is everything he's worked for. To steal a quote from Nate Diaz, like, Max could fall back on that he's a champion in another division. This is like, he's just happy to be here. Dustin is coming out firing. After the interview with Max Holloway, I was like, Max, don't sleep on Dustin. Don't sleep on Dustin. I hope he's not like, Dustin's coming out firing, man.
But Max is a real fighter, too. And listen, we said that about Brian Ortega. We saw that about Jose Aldo twice. We said that about a lot of different people with Max Holloway. The last fight he's lost was the Conor McGregor. And it wasn't, it was a close fight. Conor definitely deserved the win in that fight. But, that was 6 years ago. Max is a different human being now. He's a different fighter. He's a different everything. He's older, wiser. Again, that's what you have to realize with some of these fighters, too. Like, when they lost their fights, it's a long time ago. A lot has changed. Again, it's a tough to call. I like both these guys, so
I think Vegas is leaning towards Max too. I think we're kind of leaning towards. I'm guessing. Wow. I just feel like he's at that championship status. This is where we find out.
He already has a belt. That's why Dillashaw was the favorite in the Cejudo fight. But we're like, dude, the weight cut, the steroids, sorry. No, but you thought with Dillashaw going down, like, yes, you're the champ of the 135, but now you got to go to a weight cut. It's a different area. Max going up 10 pounds. I'm not saying he's going to be sluggish, but is he going to perform? Like, that's the one ththing about some of these fighters. Like Michael Chiesa, again, as I said, I don't think he's the best fighter out there, but the way he explained going from 155 to 170 was he was able to do things in the cage that he always wanted to do, but when he thought about it, he actually was able to do it.
Both sides of it. If Max Holloway knocks out Dustin in the first minute, you're like, oh, okay, it makes sense. He's heavier now. He's got more weight behind him. If he doesn't and his punches are patty caking and Dustin can walk through him, you're like, oh, I see that side. Maybe it's not his weight class. Like, I understand both. This is one of those fights, man, that Max Holloway, it's like, is he one of the greatest of all time? His winning streak, dude, he hasn't lost in 7 years, 6 or 7 years, to Conor McGregor, one of the best to ever do it. This is a big fight for him. And I want to see if Dustin, are you going to be the game night type of cowboy Cerrone where it's you make it all the way up to the title and then you just can't cash in and score in the end zone? Or is it going to be your time and you deserve everything? It's a very intriguing fight, man.